Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Monday, September 18. Head of the International Monetary Fund, IMF mission to Jamaica, Dr. Uma Ramakrishnan, said despite the impact of adverse weather conditions experienced earlier this year, the country's economy continues to rebound. Dr. Ramakrishnan was speaking at a joint government of Jamaica IMF press conference on Thursday, where details of the review were outlined. The IMF head noted that Jamaica's economic program continues to deliver strong results, which have been fueling significant business investment, consumer confidence, and increased job creation. Dr. Ramakrishnan reiterated the IMF's growth projection for Jamaica for the 2017-2018 fiscal year.
In the medium term, we do expect growth to be about 2.5% to 3% as Jamaica reaps the dividends from higher investment and higher productivity from all the reforms that are currently ongoing.
For his part, Finance Minister Audley Shaw said the government remained firmly committed to meeting and surpassing all targets under the precautionary standby agreement, including debt reduction and the reform agenda.
We are, however, conscious that Jamaica's growth recovery needs to be faster and more broad-based. Accordingly, we are focused on measures to expand employment, increase productivity, and reduce the informality in the economy by encouraging access to credit through structured reforms and more financial inclusion.
The review comes almost 1 year since the 3-year standby agreement came into effect, replacing the extended fund facility, which spanned 4 years. A $597 million contract was signed on Friday for the rehabilitation of 18.4 kilometer stretch of roadway along the Junction Main Road in St. Mary. The work will cover the Toms River to Aqualta Vale roadways. The contract was signed by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the Ministry of Transport, and contracting firm Surrey Paving and Aggregates. The project will last for 14 months, with Phase 1 expected to begin in October this year along the Aqualta Vale to Broadgate corridor. Prime Minister Andrew Holness noted the rehabilitation project will see the removal of deep curves along the roadway.
The project will also resolve the drainage issues in the area, while providing greater connectivity between the northern and southern highways of the country. The proposed works will have a positive effect on the long-term economic development on neighboring towns and communities through the creation of employment directly related to the works.
State Minister with responsibility for works in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington, said the scope of work to be undertaken will give the roadway a design life of 20 years.
Features include the construction of shoulders where possible, provision of sidewalks, relocation of water, electricity, and telephone lines, installation of road furniture and traffic control devices, construction of surface and subsurface drains, bridge construction and pavement upgrading.
The repair works are funded by the government and are being carried out under the GOJ Roads Rehabilitation Project Phase 2. The National Works Agency is the implementing agency. Meanwhile, another contract was signed for $29.4 million with Stanley Consultants Limited for consultancy services. 6 of the 14 justice centers, which are being established across the island by the Ministry of Justice, will be completed by the end of the year. Director and Principal of the Justice Training Institute, Karen Campbell-Basco, made the disclosure while speaking on Issues and Answers recently.
Already we've opened a justice center in the parish of St. Anne, and there are plans to have at least 5 more open before the end of the year, and the additional amounts to total 14 to be opened by next year, 2018.
Mrs. Campbell-Basco said the centers will facilitate services such as mediation, restorative justice, and direct interaction with custodies and justices of the peace. Through the centers, persons will also be able to access services of the Ministry of Justice. Mrs. Campbell-Basco further mentioned that JPs are being sensitized by the Training Institute on how to effectively play their role in community safety and security within the zones of special operations.
JPs will be rostered and will be available to come within the zones through proper protocols and will be able to assess the situation. They'll be provided with the relevant information that they will use to determine whether the citizen was detained reasonably, and then a determination is made, because the rights of our citizens are important and they must be protected.
And finally, The National Council on Drug Abuse, NCDA, has launched a national public education campaign on ganja to reduce or eliminate youth engagement in ganja use.
We have to strike that balance between the findings of trained professionals who devote resources to figuring out the safe use of marijuana and those who just see it as a way to get high. We cannot all agree and celebrate, frankly speaking, as a society, the economics of marijuana and then look the other way when it comes to the deleterious effects.
The initiative, dubbed Talk the Truth, Our Future Comes First, involves a multi-sector partnership with Ministries of Health, Justice, Education, Youth and Information, and National Security. High school students across Jamaica will have the opportunity to participate in discussions and activities on substance abuse.
What do we want to tell them? And I'm winding down now. The truth as we know it, that their brains are not fully developed and are therefore more susceptible to negative effects from smoking, including moving onto hard drugs, so marijuana being a gateway drug.
The NCDA team will train peer leaders at each grade level to deliver information to at least 20 students per session, training staff members in substance use and misuse. Also, the NCDA team will assist with the development of school policies on substance use and misuse and provide in-school counseling support initiatives. The public education program will also utilize traditional media and all the social media platforms to engage youths. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.